You're putting Dr. Doolittle to shame, you two. I mean, really, I was looking at some of the episodes, and folks, you're in your 5th season. Is that correct?
Well, we just finished our 5th, and we got the 6th season coming up this spring. Yes.
That's always a good feeling. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We would like to renew your contract to another season.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
exactly. That was making it. Exactly.
And everyone, they're also here because we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, and hopefully it's not your chihuahua. And that is because I understand like 6 out of 10 of our pets are packing on a little extra weight, and you're teaming up with Hills for what is called the End Pet Obesity Campaign. I'm not a 4-legger, but I think I want to join. So first, we'll ask you, Dr. Bernard, tell me about this. This is a big deal, right?
Yes, it is. I mean, oftentimes, we'll get people in and they're suffering from diabetes or cardiac problems or, those kind of things, or even, as the pets get older, arthritis because they have too much weight.
Yeah.
So we see all these secondary problems. So, if we can get them while before they get there, before they move into, having the diabetes or controlling those kind of things with a great weight, I think this is an amazing campaign. I mean, you can go to endobesity.com and you can learn it's easy, right?
Yeah.
You can learn all those different things. And so, it's just exciting to team up with Hills to kind of stop those things. Because oftentimes, by the time they get to us, we're treating so many secondary problems. So we can stop them from getting there. That would be a great.
And Dr. Terrence, I'm looking at Casey. He's looking at me. He's like, I really love treats, Dr. Terrence. What can you give me as a cat and help with this Hills campaign so I don't become a hairy ottoman?
Well, one is we want to make sure the baby's active, kind of moving around and getting a little energy. And the next thing is we want to make sure that the baby's on a good diet, a proper diet.
Yeah.
So if we feel like we may be a little overweight or on the verge of being overweight, the first thing you want to do is contact your veterinarian, because he'll make several different diets that will help them either, one, maintain the ideal diet, lose a little weight to get to the ideal diet, or lose a lot of weight to get to the ideal diet, maintain that weight so that they can live a long, healthy life.
All right. Well, after the show, my dogs, Kona and Emma, and my cat, Casey, and I, we're going to do puppy push-ups. We promise.
There we go. That sounds like a plan.
So we got to dive into who you two are. And I did a little research, and I am very impressed. You are both in Georgia. Now,
Yes.
I do know that, Dr. Bernard, you were born in Connecticut, but basically you're a Georgia guy.
Yeah,
right?
I was there. I had a split second, man.
Okay.
I had a split
Took
second.
a few diaper changes and
everything. And then I was like, I want to go down to Georgia. And
peach country. Oh my God. I love Georgia beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, so you're, and basically, and Dr. Terrence, you were born in Georgia and you're still there.
I'm born in Georgia. I'm still here until they run me away from Georgia.
So you two had different paths, and I want to dive into that. And then we're going to get into the show too. But you guys got a bromance going here. You guys are good guys. You've been to get buds for what, 30 years since you went to undergrad school, right?
Yes. He was smart enough.
Tell the story how you met.
I'm going to start because I'm sure he's going to reviewed it. If you watch the show, that's simply how it goes. But, he was smart enough to come into class one day and say, I want to sit by the smartest kid in this class. And, the whole class just moved away, and there where the seat was. So he sat beside me.
It's like Moses parting the Red Sea, right?
Just like the Red Sea. Everybody just moved aside and said, well, look, that's the guy you want to be beside.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right, doesn't it?
Right?
That sounds about right, doesn't it? But I maybe a little bit different. But yeah, no, we did meet in undergrad though, and I was a veterinary science major. He was a biology major, and we met in a biology or limnology class, like the study of water, because I was interested in the biology as well as just veterinary medicine, and we had some classes together. But the beauty is, neither one of us knew that we'll be veterinary partners together. We didn't know we would start a business together. We didn't know we would have a television show. but we were friends first, right? We became
That's
friends.
good.
And I think that's the beauty of the relationship that we have today. It didn't start out being monetary, like,
No, it's priceless. You have a friendship. You can't
Right.
put a dollar on that. That's cool. I like that. So you
Exactly
both
right.
are Tuskegee grads from the vet
Yes,
school,
yes.
right? Woo, woo.
From Tuskegee.
All right.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you both are trying to get more people into vet school. I know for a while it used to be not enough women. Now there's not enough minorities. Is it right? There's only 2%
Yes.
Arians who are African American. Are you guys?
African American. It is. And that was a statistic when we graduated over 25 years ago, and it still holds the same. So when we talked one day, we were like, man, if not us, then who? Because if you live on TV, right, you see the Denzel Washingtons, you see actors.
I call him eye candy. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. or even football, right? We'll use that. You see the African American quarterback, or even hockey now. You see African American there, or whatever it is. But when these kids look on television and they see Black veterinarians,
Yes.
we're the only two that exist. So we realize the platform, and we realize that when grandma and mom reaches out to us, that we got to be role models and we got to do something to make the change. And that's why we came up with our Vet for a Day program, where we're now going around the country and we're letting kids who otherwise wouldn't have the chance or the opportunity to be in the veterinary program or to see what it's like to be a veterinarian, those opportunities to be there.
I love it. And Dr. Terrence, continuing on, Dr. Bernard, what is this program and how do people find out about it?
Yeah, so the program is called Vet for a Day, and it was kind of birthed. Dr. Hodges he was in the mock club. And think about Dr. Hodges, he always calls with different ideas and, these things are kind of way out there. And one day it was like, let's do this. So he said, let's do a program, bring kids in, and let's show them exactly what we do, because we always get, a mom or a dad, let's bring them together, one unit. And I'll say, yeah, that sounds good as long as we can have an education portion to it. And, he looked at me like, he just want to have fun. But, so we kind of divide the day off. Half of the day is really learning what it takes to become a veterinarian, education wise, and talking to professors and different people that are veterinarian and the different aspects of veterinary medicine. Dr. Hodges and I, we're practitioners, but there are so many different fields, different areas in veterinary medicine. But that second part of the day is kind of fun day. It's the time they come in and they get to see us do various tasks, whether it's endoscopy or surgery or ultrasound, how to restrain animals. And depending on where the Vet for a Day is, they get different experiences, because we've had them at the zoo before and they get to see zoo animals and what the zoo veterinarian does. And we've gone to different plants or different places, like other places like Purina, I think we went to at one point in time, but they got opportunity to see things there. So depending on where we are, where they get the experience, but they get to experience what it looks like to be a veterinarian or be in the veterinary industry, which is what we love.
I love that. And hey, Pet Pals, we're speaking with two amazing veterinarians, and they are Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson, the stars of Critter Fixers. And we're going to dive in more because these dudes, they're taking care of bearded dragons, eels, and more. So everybody, you know the drill. We want you to just sit, stay. We're going to be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Hey, Pet Pals, welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm having a great time with two amazing veterinarians, and they are the stars of Critter Fixers. Yep, it's on Nat Geo Wild. I am speaking of Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. They're buds. They're helping all kinds of critters Dr. Terrence, what is the name of the clinic and where are you located in rural Georgia? Can GS navigation systems find you?
Well, you can find us on GPS. Yeah, you can find us. Yeah, but both clinics are called Critter Fixer Veterinary Hospital. That's actually the name of our hospital. And we're in Middle Georgia. We're probably an hour and a half south of Atlanta. You know, a lot of people always ask, are you from Atlanta? And no, we're not from Atlanta. We're a little bit south of Atlanta, but we can get there if we need to get there. But yeah.
I would take credit for Critter Fixers because what you want to name the clinic?
So, yeah, the whole story, right?
Yeah, we
So-
got time.
we're going to start this clinic. We're going to start this clinic, and I'm out of school 1 year, and Hodges out of school 2 years. And when you go to an area, you want to be well received. You want to be professional. You want to just give that vibe, right? This is before social media, so it's on the phone book. There's no Google search. So I said, what are we going to be that people will see it and want to? So we started in a city. It was Byron, Georgia, right? So I thought that we should be the Veterinary Associates of Byron. Oh, why are you laughing? Are you laughing at me too?
Oh, no, not me. That must have been Casey, my cat.
Yeah. So of course I got struck down pretty quick there.
I was like, man, we ain't associates nothing. We don't have any money. We don't have anything. I ain't wearing a tie to work every day. So associates is not listen. I was like, let's be the Critter Fixer.
And I was like, no. I was like,
Okay.
no, that's country.
And I'm
How
like,
do you
we
feel
country.
now?
We are country. And I love it.
But you know what? You're being true to yourself. And I do
Yeah.
have a lot of good friends that are veterinarians, and a lot of them are in small animal practices. They're dogs and cats and the occasional guinea pig or whatever. I want people to know your background. So, Dr. Bernard, I mean, you were a fish biologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, do you talk to fish? And you
I do.
have a koi pond, right? Still?
I do have a koi pond. I'm a fish biologist. If you've ever seen the show, you've seen me do fish medicine. I do fish surgery. I did a surgery on a moray eel. The people send me fish or call me about fish from all around the country. I always had a love of aquatics. I thought I was going to be, like the Black Jacques Cousteau. I was going to go, in the deepest voyages.
You
of
were
the
going to
sea.
be Jacques Cousteau's associate?
Yes. I thought.
I like it.
But I was fortunate enough to team up with this guy. He lets me still do fish surgery, so I'm super happy with it.
And Dr. Terrence, I love the fact that you also have a pretty storied background. You actually studied in Alaska and worked at a wildlife refuge. That is total different temperature than rural Georgia.
So, I always like animals. I want to be a veterinarian since I was 8 years old,
Nice.
just blessed to become. And during some of my undergrad studies, I went to Alaska and worked on Kenai Peninsula and Kodak Island. So got a up and close with bears, and just had a awesome opportunity to be able to be there and just the wildlife there. So
How
definitely was a great experience.
do you say hello to an Alaskan bear?
You don't. You try to stay as far as you can so they can't hear you, and you just see them and hope they don't see you.
How about moose? Are they friendly?
Some can be, but you don't want them when she has her babies. No, you want to stay away. She's pretty protected.
So you two were in vet school. One grad, I guess, Bernard, are you considered the older twin then?
I
You're
am
not
the
related
elder statesman of this thing.
because you graduated 1 year earlier.
1 year, right?
Yeah, I'm the youth that don't listen to the adults, so I don't pay much. No, just to you.
You got your cat like
Yeah, that's right. Can't lie to
So
you.
tell us about Critter Fixer, the clinic, because, a lot of people do have dogs and cats, but a lot of people and little kids always want to have maybe a bearded dragon. I had a guinea pig named Fido. I mean, there's a lot of good companion animals that really could use a solid care by a veterinary team like yourself. So did you feel like where you were, there was a big gap in care for non-traditional pets?
Most definitely. I mean, if you come to our clinic, it's 2.5 hours to the University of Georgia or Auburn, or you go on to Savannah, or maybe you come another 2 hours up to Atlanta. But that's the only way you could find somebody to take care of your rabbit or your guinea pig or your bearded dragon, those kind of things. So, we had to learn how to do these because, people locally have them. Even huge 20-foot snakes. You know, I mean, you know, and now one of the things that we see, probably the most common, honestly, is chickens. You would be surprised how many backyard chickens. I think chickens are probably, I think maybe a time with rabbits is the third most common thing we see. A lot of backyard chickens.
Well, and Dr. Terrence, I was taking a walk with my two dogs, Kona and Emma, and I saw these beautiful chickens. I know they crossed the road in front of me. They did in my neighborhood. And I'm like, whose chickens are these? And they acted very confident. And I was worried my dogs aren't aggressive. They're chickens. So I went knocking door to door, and I finally found the people that had the chickens, and the chickens had flown the coop and they didn't know that they had gotten out. Are chickens Houdinis?
Yeah, they definitely can. You know, you'd be surprised at how well. Now, they may not be able to take flight from our place to Atlanta, but they can definitely get up high enough to get out different enclosures. So you have to be very careful on how they are enclosed.
And what is something that you two, each one separately, we'll go with Dr. Terrence and then Dr. Bernard. What is something people need to know to keep a chicken healthy as a pet? And I hope they're not putting them on their plate, but just eating the eggs, but that's another story. But for chickens that people have at home.
One thing we see a lot is, and it has really to do with the substrate or the area that the chicken walks on a lot. You know, these areas are very uneven, or they're more like rocks or gravel. They can get injuries to their foot, and they can get an infection. They can get something that we call bumblefoot, which is infection.
Bumblefoot?
Bumble.
Oh, bumble. Okay.
Yes. It's basically what we call
country accent.
Yeah, that's my country accent. Yeah. I've been working on that too, trying to get it bumblefoot. Does that sound better?
And low.
Yeah. You know, this may go out to, all over the world. I want to make sure.
One more time.
The chicken may get bumblefoot.
And how do you spell that?
Bumble.
Okay, thank you.
F-O-O-T.
With an assist from Dr. Bernard. Okay.
The proper term is called photodermatitis, which basically means there's inflammation of the foot.
All right, so that's something I didn't know. So what they walk on is really crucial. What would something be you would recommend that they have?
So something is soft. Even being on grass is fine if you got a nice first area.
Yeah.
You just won't want them walking a lot on like asphalt. Gravel, different hard substrate. A lot of people put straw and things like that in the area, and those things are fine as well.
Okay. So you just schooled me on chicken substrate. I can't wait to team up with you two on Jeopardy. We're going to be a team.
There you go.
And Dr. Bernard, what would be something else somebody would be surprised and something that you should do to keep your chicken at home healthy?
So oftentimes, we think about fleas and those kind of things on our dogs and cats. But, we don't think about it with our chickens, but they get fleas and they get other problems. I tell you, a real inexpensive way and something you can go get over the counter is diatomaceous earth. If you sprinkle diatomaceous earth, it keeps the parasites down. It doesn't harm the chicken, and you can kind of keep those fleas and everything down because they do get parasites as well, and they can cause some anemia and those kind of problems, the same as they do with dogs and cats.
So what's this all proving is that you both give a cluck about chickens, don't you?
There you go. A whole lot.
We do.
Oh my gosh. And I saw in one of the episodes, you have to know all kinds of species. I think it was Dr. Bernard who said, we know we have to, we care for over 1,000 kinds, right? So you better, how do you do your research? And, I know in vet school, you learn a lot, but I don't think you learned a lot about a bearded dragon or chicken substrate, right?
You actually don't. I mean, literally, and that's one thing we try to tell the kids, it's always a lifelong learning, we go to, we have different things we read, we figure out. I'll tell you, even for me, something as simple as a sugar glider.
Like, what?
Sugar glider.
Oh, sugar gliders. Yeah.
Right. I honestly, I just thought it was a squirrel with big eyes. I didn't know what it was I had people that have them, but over the last 17 years, they've become popular. And one of the things is, I had to learn about them. And a lot of times the biggest thing is husbandry, and by that, it means how do you keep them? But if you go buy a sugar glider, just a little fat, you can't buy one. You have to have two.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, you need, you because of just the way they born, the way they act. So, if you get a sugar glider, you need to get them in pair.
Okay. Well, I learned that I can't just eat 2 Pringles either. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
philosophy. Hey, everybody, I'm having a great time. We're speaking with 2 incredible and motivational and inspiring veterinarians. They are Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. Yeah, Critter Fixer show on Nat Geo Wild. They're also here helping out Hills because they have a major campaign to end obesity in our dogs and cats. We're going to find out more about their lives after we take this break. I don't know if I should say cluck, cluck. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
All right. Welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. Yep, it's me, Arden Moore. I am having a blast. I have 2 new favorite veterinarians, and they answer to the names of Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. And you can catch them on Nat Geo Wild. They're in the 5th season, going on to start filming for the 6th season. And they're also here to help out some company called Hills Pet Nutrition, just teasing, with their End Pet Obesity campaign. We learned a little bit about chickens, and we learned a little bit about sugar gliders. I'm really curious, very curious about goats. I saw in one of your episodes, it was a little sad, but you had the Nigerian dwarf goat named Bella.
Uh-huh.
And these mean dogs had gotten in, and the lady brought Bella in, and Bella looked like someone had taken a bicycle air pump. What happened? Who wants to answer this one? Who wants to field this one?
Yeah. So
Okay,
the baby
Dr.
had gotten attacked by dogs, and what happened is sometimes you get a puncture and it punctures through the thorax into the lungs. The air from that area can get under the skin, and that's basically what happened. And just between the muscle layer and the skin was full of air that was coming from the lungs. So we had to kind of wrap that baby up and get rid of some of that air, but it's definitely one of those things, like it's a wild moment when you see it.
And Dr. Bernard, you had Mixie the cat. That little hussy was pregnant, but she also had a hernia. Isn't that kind of a tricky situation?
It is. It is definitely tricky, especially with a diaphragm and a hernia and pregnant. In my 20 years, I've only seen that a few times. And when you think about it, if we sit here and breathe, we don't have to think about breathing.
Right.
Our diaphragm moves up and down. In this cat, the diaphragm was torn, and the heart, the lungs and were in there with the liver. So, yes. So it was tricky. You're trying to save the babies. You're trying to save mom. It was a very, very tricky surgery. I mean, those are sometimes you have to make a decision because, you're really dealing with real lives here, and owners who care, and so you're talking to them and you're trying to make the best decision for it. But that was a very tough case.
So how does it work with your show? Because you're getting everyday people coming in to Critter Fixer at your clinic, and then there's cameras. I mean, how do you walk that line of being able to present a show that's helpful and also save a pet's life?
Yeah. Our primary job is to take care of our patients. That's number one. So it doesn't matter, as far as cameras or where they are and what they do. We're there to take care of our clients and our patients, and they're just there to film it. There's nothing.
So do they come every day or certain days of the week? When's the Nat Geo crew come?
Yeah. So when we filming, they're there every day.
All day long.
Yeah. And they decide, they take a look at the books. So these cases are not cases that they try to find people. They're actually on our books, and they decide what they think may be interesting, and they'll tag those. So when we get ready to see those cases, they basically just follow us.
And they learn because, when you're doing a C-section and you're pulling babies out, you looking at that camera like, look, you got one side of this because I can't put this baby back. So you better make sure you get this out.
Well, do you get some sort of regulars from the crew there that you guys gotten to be buddies with?
Of course. Yeah. So I think maybe the last 3 seasons we've had the same crew. So it kind of like we're all family at this point, and it makes it a lot better on everyone because we learn them and their tendencies, and they learn us and our tendencies, and it just makes it for a smoother process.
I like that. And I love that there was an episode where you had a vet student come in to help repair a dog's torn ACL, which Dr. Bernard is a fancy term for what?
Cranial cruciate ligament is a fancy term, right? But yeah, so we get interns all the time, but that is not just show. That is something
No.
that right. We're so proud of we call it our Critter Fixer family tree, where
like
we
that.
had over 70 veterinarians who come through our clinic, and they're off in the world. So we can call them, or they call us from Vegas, or they call us from North Carolina, or wherever they're located, or it's just that is the most proud thing. That is so what we try to portray in this show. Because now we tell them, listen, this is what's important to us. And what is important to us is reaching back and showing other veterinarians that they can be a Hodges or a Ferguson.
I like that. And, there is a bump up because there's not enough veterinarians and we got
Yeah.
too many critters.
Yeah.
So a rise in veterinary telehealth medicine. It sounds like this family tree, though, you are in communique with other veterinarians.
Yes.
I don't know. Talk about that, Dr. Bernard. What's the advantage and and then we'll go to you, Dr. Terrence. I'm trying to be equal time. You see that? I'm a
Yeah,
Libra.
yeah.
I'm a Libra. I got to do
Right.
this.
My gosh. Well, the advantage is definitely being able to come. And, sometimes some of these newer procedures, even for old dogs like us, we can learn new tricks.
Yes.
Georgia dogs.
Hello, little dogs. Exactly. We'll learn new things and we'll talk to them, or they'll call us for things and trying to get our opinion. And, I know you mentioned telehealth.
Yeah.
Telehealth is definitely, I think it's definitely up and coming. It is definitely a way to provide services, especially in some of the rural communities. If you notice in our clinic, though, we give everybody a hug. So that was a little hard. We did a lot more in COVID. And literally my receptionist would put on the door, do not hug Dr. Hodges. Even if he gives, they would get mad at me. Cause look, we got on masks. We've been letting these people for 20 years. I mean, it's hard to change, right? So,
Right.
that's one of the things. But telemedicine definitely, I think, has its place in veterinary.
How about you, Dr. Terrence? Where would be a good situation for telehealth med? Because, sometimes we have our phones, we send the little clip, I think my dog has whatever, but some things aren't real emergencies, right?
Yeah. And definitely, one of the things in our area, of course, the areas that they're not accessible, right? Those are
Yeah.
good. But we have a lot of clients too they're maybe older and they have larger dogs. And
Okay.
sometimes it can be pretty difficult for them to try to load these dogs in and get them into the clinic. So, telemedicine definitely helps in that point because we can try to help them and assess them without them having to always get the 60, 70, 100-pound dog loaded in the car. And, it may be a little lady who's older and, she
Yeah.
really can't do it as she would like to. So we can provide a service there. So it definitely comes in handy as far as that is concerned also. And the other thing, like you say that things that are maybe non-emergent or things that we've seen their babies before, it may be rechecks or maybe something like that we can handle these things without them having to physically come into the clinic with their baby.
I like it. I like it. Now, one of your episodes, you have a good relationship with the Georgia Reptile Society.
Yes, they're great.
I saw something I never thought I saw, and I lived in Florida, and I used to help with the turtles, the sea turtles, to go to the hatchlings. That was my little fun thing I loved to do. And then I'd get mad at the birds and coming down, get away. Let them get the sorghum. All right. So you had a pig-nosed turtle, and you do a lot of bearded dragons. Who did the pig-nosed turtle? I've never seen a turtle with a pig nose.
Yeah, I think it was in for husbandry, but yeah, it actually looked like a pig too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Almost like two little snorts. That was the first for me too. So, that's the beauty of the reptile society. They have a lot of different species that we may not see as often, but it gives us an opportunity to be able to see them and treat them. And they do a very, very, very good job of, with the reptiles. So we try to assist them as much as we can.
I like that. Hey, I can't believe we're going to be in the final segment. You guys have stuck with me. I appreciate that. We're going to wrap this up with two amazing veterinarians. They're buddies. They're helping all kinds of critters. And of course, we're talking about Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. They are the Critter Fixer team. So everybody sit and snort like a pig-nosed turtle. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and I am so glad and honored. They've been very generous with their time. I have a feeling they're country gentlemen because everybody matters to them, whether you have 1, 2, 3, 4 legs, fins, flippers, whatever. What's the personal pet situation for both of you? Dr. Terrence, you have a dog, is that right?
Yeah, I have 3. I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 schnauzers that are probably 4.5 months old, and I have a Cane Corso that's about 7 years old.
And how big is the Cane Corso?
He's probably right around 100 pounds, and the other babies are about 15 pounds, but you know who rules the roost, right?
Yeah, the schnauzers.
Yes,
now,
exactly.
Is your Cane Corso, is that Caesar?
No, Caesar is the schnauzer that he passed now.
Oh, okay.
A year ago. So I have 2 new babies now, schnauzers, but that's Shaq. Shaq is the Cane Corso.
Shaq? Oh, you're talking about the basketball player?
Yeah, that would be him.
Yeah, I like that. Well, he's got his AARP card now. That's cool. So the schnauzers, they're puppies, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm more in the behavior. I don't do veterinary medicine. I don't play a veterinarian on TV, but I got to tell you, my background is behavior and pet safety. I call the first year you have with a puppy or a kitten. You ready for it? I call it the wonder year. Even if you are a veterinarian, don't you wonder where your sanity went?
Yes. That's right. And when it's been so long since you've been through that stage, you wondering, why did I go through this again? Because you're like, oh no,
Can Shaq help out?
Yeah, not much. He just like to lay around right now.
All right. How about you, Dr. Bernard? What's your critter crew at home look like?
I have 2 Frenchies, Coin Ghost, and then I have a Cane Corso, Bane, but he's probably about 150 pounds.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He's a big guy. And then I have Drake, who is my bearded dragon.
What's the name of your bearded dragon?
Drake.
Drink? Like drink?
Drake, D-R-A-K-E, Drake.
Oh, okay, Drake. Okay. Named after any musician?
But he was adopted. I adopted him with that name.
That's what they all say. Yeah.
I got him from the Prince of Reptile Society.
So, Frenchies, Cane Corso, Drake.
Yes.
Come on. Who has the best personality?
I'm going to say Koi, because Koi is one of the Frenchies. She's like a diva. She's really... So, she's been on some interviews with us, and literally we'll have her sit, and she'll lay like a baby. And then all of a sudden,
Fall asleep.
And she snores. So at first we're like, what is that? They're like, we're going to come. She'll look up with one eye.
Oh, snap. Well, Frenchies with Lady Gaga, they became very popular. In fact, I understand from the American Kennel Club, for 31 years, it was the Labrador Retriever, #1 most popular dog in America until this year, the Frenchie, c'est magnifique. So caring for a Frenchie as a veterinarian, people think they're really, really cute, Dr. Bernard, but what are some issues?
They have some issues. There comes some, for that, they call it brachiocephalic breeds, or breeds that have the smush face. Oftentimes they can have some nasal problems. They can have some glottis problems that have to be corrected. So you really want to do that. And unfortunately, they get heart issues.
Okay.
So you have some issues. So you really, I guess when I got mine, I really was checking them out and did some exams before I brought them home. But, you definitely want to make sure that when you get any brachiocephalic breed that you get them checked out by your veterinarian.
And you got to watch their diet, right? Because they
Definitely
can
watch their diet.
All right. Yes. So, and you can say the word. What's the company you guys like?
Hills.
Oh, Hills, yes.
Yeah.
Hills. Yeah. And the thing is, right, seriously, when we were first approached by Hills and we kind of talked about, representing them and being ambassadors. We learned about Heroes and probably in vet school about 30 years ago, which they've been
That has changed.
So they've been a trusted brand, and they get behind the science. So, we were talking to them and everything they could do could be backed up by science. We thought we would be a perfect fit, as partners with Canada, especially with this, like I say, this obesity thing.
Yeah.
We got to get control of that.
Yes, absolutely. Anything you want to add on that, Dr. Terrence?
Yeah, definitely. This obesity issue, it's a big deal. We often kind of joke about it a little bit and we talk about the animal. Yeah, they may be a little bit overweight, but as veterinarians, we really understand the significance of it because even 1 or 2 pounds can really put them in an area that they can be susceptible to different things like diabetes, and a lot of people didn't know or don't know that, animals can develop diabetes, and a lot of that it's a direct link to being a little bit overweight or actually being obese. So Heroes, like you said, and these conversations can be tough even for us veterinarians to go in the room and talk to a client.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you come and get a pet,
Yes.
and I want to know the answer to this. When a person comes in with a pet and is obese,
Yes.
how do you tell?
Oh,
Well,
this is awkward.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. It can be very difficult, right? So what you want to do is you go in and we want to talk, and you don't want to be so direct. You want to just ask them, what do you think about the score of your animal, right? The beauty is Heroes gives us tools to be able to use to make this conversation a lot easier.
Yay.
We have charts and we can ask the client, okay, it has, 4 or 5 dogs and different weights. And we can ask them, where do you think your baby, or if it's a cat, where do you think your baby is on this scale? And of course, they probably go pick the ideal weight, but that gives us a visual to say, maybe not there, but maybe we may be right here. And
That's
okay.
very gracious. I like that.
And that's
I like
okay.
that.
We're here to help. And then we want to talk about the importance of being, a little bit lighter because we want to live a long time. And in order for us to do that, we need to make sure our baby is at an ideal weight.
And so the name of that site, again, how do people find out more?
The Pet Obesity?
InPetObesity.com.
That makes it easy. And how do people find you two? I know we can catch your show on Nat Geo Wild, Critter Fixer, other.
Yeah, they can catch my IG. We're always on there. We're always showing different pets. And you get some behind the scenes stuff on our Instagrams. Dr. Hodges, _, Critter Fixer Vet. And
And I'm Dr. Ferguson _ Critter Fixer Vets.
All right. I'm definitely going to check that out. Where do you see what is there been any companion animal neither one of you have ever treated but wanted to? I don't know.
I actually want to go and treat some sharks and whales, but my friend don't. That would be my ideal thing. So,
you better hope they're a nurse shark, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. How about you, Dr. Terrence?
I think I'll just be on the boat and I'll throw the charm over so I can help him locate them while I watch him in the water.
What is something, you got to be nice. We got a minute left. What is something you like best about your guy, your buddy here? Dr. Terrence, what's something that you like about Dr. Bernard? And it is being recorded, so be nice.
Yeah. Okay. No, seriously, I like the way he takes on challenges, right? He's always looking for that next thing, and it challenges me, right? I may be the one that's kind of like, oh, okay, everything is fine. But when he attacks the process, he says, T, what do you think? Then I attack the process. So he actually pulls me along without him knowing that he does it.
I love it. And how about you, Dr. Bernard? What's something you admire or like about
the same thing? Well, I think he is one of the best surgeons I've ever met. But also, think about it. How many people would let their partners have a mohawk? And every time I come up with a harebrained idea, he goes along with it. He's never told me no.
I like it. Hey, everybody. That's it for our show today. We have been delighted and honored to have on our show Dr. Bernard Hodges and Dr. Terrence Ferguson. They are the Critter Fixer team from Nat Geo Wild. And if you're in Georgia, check them out. Bring in your bearded dragon or your shark. So until next time, this is your host, Arden Moore, saying just 2 words to all you 2, 3, 4-legger, fins, wings, whatever you want to say it. Pause up.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content. Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.